If you are a PS5 owner who loves anime, this is the list you have been waiting for. From legendary franchises to underrated gems, here are 25 must-play anime games right now. Starting strong at number 1, Demon Slayer: The Hinokami Chronicles 2 is the ultimate anime fighting game on PS5. This sequel by CyberConnect 2 expands massively on the original, with over 40 playable characters, including all 9 Hashira. The story mode covers the Entertainment District, Swordsmith Village, and Hashira training arcs with cinematic fidelity that rivals the actual anime. Combat is sharper and more tactical than before, running at a smooth 60 FPS with DualSense haptic feedback making every slash feel impactful. If you are a Demon Slayer fan, this one is essentially non-negotiable. Coming in at number 2, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is the long-awaited revival of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, and it absolutely delivers. With a roster of over 160 characters and explosive 3D arena combat, it captures the raw energy of the Dragon Ball universe better than any game before it. Episode Battle Mode lets you relive iconic story moments from multiple character perspectives, adding surprising depth to what could have been a simple fighter. The visuals are stunning on PS5, with ki blasts and transformations that look ripped straight from the anime. At number 3 on this list, Metaphor ReFantazio proves that Atlus can do no wrong when it comes to JRPGs. This original fantasy epic from the creators of Persona carries all the hallmarks of the studio, including stylish menus, deep social mechanics, and a gripping turn-based combat system. Set in a dying kingdom torn apart by political chaos, the story tackles themes of prejudice and hope with surprising maturity. Every character is memorable, and the world building is extraordinarily rich. This is easily one of the best JRPGs released in recent years on any platform. Number 4 belongs to Bleach: Rebirth of Souls, a fighting game that finally does the iconic series justice. Rather than a simple button masher, this game builds around a momentum system, where offensive pressure gradually unlocks your character's Bankai abilities. It rewards aggressive but intelligent play, and makes every match feel like a genuine Soul Reaper clash. The cel-shaded visuals nail the look of the anime, and the roster covers beloved characters from across all arcs of the story. For fans who have waited years for a proper Bleach game, the wait was worth it. Coming in 5th, Elden Ring remains one of the most visually and mechanically impressive anime-style action RPGs ever made. From Software crafted an open world of breathtaking scale, built on collaborative lore from George R.R. Martin and Hidetaka Miyazaki. Combat is demanding but endlessly rewarding, offering dozens of build options from strength warriors to arcane sorcerers. Every corner of the Lands Between hides secrets, boss encounters, and lore that rewards exploration. On PS5, performance mode keeps it silky smooth, and the world has never looked better. Number 6 goes to Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn, the expanded edition of one of the most acclaimed JRPGs of the generation. This version adds a substantial new story chapter set after the base game's ending, featuring new characters and deeper lore. The combat system remains one of the most fluid and satisfying in the genre, blending real-time action with party management. Visually, it continues to impress, with painterly environments and vivid character designs. If you missed Tales of Arise earlier, this expanded version is the definitive way to experience it. At spot 7, Persona 3 Reload is a masterclass in remake design. Every system from the 2006 original has been rebuilt from the ground up while preserving what made it special. Social links, Tartarus exploration, and the iconic Persona Fusion system all feel refreshed and modern. The story about mortality, loss, and human connection hits differently now, especially with the fully voiced dialogue and stunning new cutscenes. It is one of the most emotionally impactful JRPGs available on PS5 today, and a perfect entry point for newcomers to the Persona series. Number 8 is Hunter x Hunter NenxImpact, a fighting game that genuinely respects its source material. Released in July 2025, this arena fighter focuses on the Nen ability system, giving each character a deeply unique fighting style tied to their in-universe powers. Gon, Killua, Hisoka, and others all feel distinctly different to play, making roster exploration genuinely rewarding. The visual style stays faithful to the anime's art direction, and the online versus modes offer plenty of competitive longevity. For fans of the series, this is the game that HXH deserved. Landing at number 9, Granblue Fantasy Relink is what happens when a popular mobile gacha game gets a full console treatment with zero compromise. The result is a polished 20-plus hour action RPG with a massive cast, satisfying real-time combat, and a world rich with detail. Each character has a distinct playstyle, and the 4-player co-op makes endgame quests a blast with friends. The story is self-contained and accessible even to those unfamiliar with the mobile game. It looks and plays like a premium anime series you can actually control. 10th on the list, Digimon Story Time Stranger, released in October 2025, and brought back the beloved RPG formula fans have loved for years. Players explore the collapse of the digital world while building bonds with their Digimon partners through a deep evolution system. The narrative is darker and more complex than previous entries, exploring the relationship between humans and digital creatures in a way that feels emotionally resonant. Turn-based combat remains strategic and satisfying. This is a must-play for longtime Digimon fans and JRPG enthusiasts alike. At number 11, Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash brings the chaotic energy of the anime straight to PS5. This 2-on-2 arena fighter lets players pair up characters and combine their curse techniques in spectacular fashion. Yuji, Megumi, Gojo, and Nobara all feel distinct, and the cooperation mechanics add a layer of strategy beyond typical anime brawlers. Visually, it captures the kinetic, high-stakes feel of the source material well. While the roster could be larger, the core combat loop is addictive, and the online modes keep things fresh long after the story is done. Sliding into spot 12, Piece Odyssey is a proper turn-based JRPG set in the world of Luffy and the Straw Hats. The original story takes the crew through memory-based versions of iconic locations like Alabasta and Water 7, giving longtime fans a fresh look at beloved arcs. The battle system uses positioning and character-specific skills in a way that actually demands thought. Visually, the character models are expressive and faithful to Oda's art style. For One Piece fans who want something beyond a fighting game, this delivers a genuinely great RPG experience. Number 13 goes to Attack on Titan Final Battle, the definitive version of Omega Force's adaptation of the fan-favorite series. Players use the iconic omnidirectional mobility gear to soar through environments and target Titan weak points in exhilarating aerial combat. The story mode spans the entire anime, with enough content to keep fans busy for dozens of hours. The large-scale battles in co-op mode recreate the desperate, high-stakes feel of the show brilliantly. For fans of the anime, playing through these iconic battles yourself is an experience unlike anything else. At 14, Scarlet Nexus remains one of the most visually inventive action RPGs on PS5. Set in a futuristic world where psychic abilities are a military asset, the game follows two protagonists whose stories intersect in surprising ways. The brainpunk aesthetic is genuinely striking, with bold designs and a neon-drenched color palette that sticks in your memory. Combat blends telekinesis with character bonds in a way that feels unique and deeply satisfying. The dual narrative structure adds significant replay value, and the emotional beats hit harder than most games in the genre. Coming in at 15, Guilty Gear Strive is the gold standard for anime fighting games on PS5. Arc System Works delivered a game that is simultaneously one of the most visually stunning and mechanically deep fighters ever made. Each character has a wildly different playstyle, and the rollback netcode makes online play genuinely smooth and competitive. The art direction achieves something remarkable, making 3D models look convincingly hand-drawn in motion. Whether you are a fighting game veteran or newcomer, Strive has enough depth and style to keep you hooked for hundreds of hours. Number 16, Fairy Tail 2 brings the Magical Guild back in a new JRPG adventure covering the series' later story arcs. With a playable roster of over 16 mages and a new original story chapter, it gives both old and new fans plenty to enjoy. The Unison Raid and cooperative magic mechanics from the first game return in improved form, making party-based combat feel dynamic and rewarding. Visually, it is a clear step up from its predecessor, with more detailed environments and smoother animations. Guild management mechanics add a layer of depth between story chapters. At number 17, Seven Deadly Sins Origin marks a fresh chapter for the franchise on PS5. Released in 2025, This title revisits the Kingdom of Britannia with updated visuals and a new action-driven combat system that moves away from the turn-based roots of earlier games. Each of the 7 sins has flashy signature abilities that are spectacular to execute. The open world allows for exploration of familiar and new locations from the anime. It is a welcoming entry for fans returning to the series and accessible enough for newcomers curious about the franchise. Naruto x Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections lands at number 18, bringing together the most expansive roster in the Storm series history. Featuring over 130 characters spanning the entirety of the Naruto and Boruto timelines, this is essentially the definitive celebration of the franchise in game form. The Connection mode tells a new original story exclusively created for the game. Visually, the anime-style presentation remains as impressive as ever, with fluid jutsu animations that capture the show's iconic battles. Online ranked mode ensures the competitive scene stays lively. Listen 19 goes to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which continues to offer the most complete retelling of the Dragon Ball Z story in any game. Covering all major sagas from the Saiyan arc to the Buu saga, it combines open-world exploration with explosive combat and surprisingly engaging RPG elements. The fishing, cooking, and training mini-activities add a charming slice-of-life dimension between fights. On PS5, the improved performance makes the vibrant environments and iconic battles look sharper than ever. The DLC expansions further extend the experience with super storylines. At number 20, Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist is the standout indie anime experience on PS5 in 2025. This action platformer follows Lilac, a young attuner journeying through the haunting land of fumes to uncover the truth behind a mysterious catastrophe. The hand-drawn art style is gorgeous, and the world design is dense with secrets and optional encounters. Combat is fast, precise, and deeply satisfying, with a variety of upgradable companion spirits to customize your playstyle. It punches well above its size and is an absolute gem for fans of atmospheric anime storytelling. Stellar Blade at number 21 is one of the PS5's most visually arresting exclusives, with a strong anime aesthetic running through every element of its design. Playing as Eve, a warrior descending to a devastated Earth overrun by monsters, the combat demands timing, precision, and stylish combos. The gameplay feels like a love letter to action games like Nier Automata and Devil May Cry, wrapped in a sleek, futuristic anime shell. The world building is surprisingly rich, and the boss encounters are among the most memorable in recent PS5 releases. A must-play for action fans on the platform. Number 22, Sword Art Online Last Recollection brings the virtual reality fantasy series back for a new action RPG adventure. The story bridges events between the Alicization and Unital Ring arcs, with a cast that pulls from across the entire series timeline. Real-time combat is fluid and flashy, letting players switch between a large roster of SAO characters mid-battle. The underworld setting is beautifully realized on PS5 hardware, with vibrant lighting and detailed environments. For fans of the anime, seeing the full gang together in a new original story is genuinely exciting. At the 23rd spot, My Hero Academia All Justice arrived in early 2026 as a 3v3 brawler covering the final story arc of the beloved series. With the full roster of Class 1A and major villains reaching their ultimate power levels, every match feels like a climactic showdown. The open arena combat design allows for dynamic team combinations and special combined quirk attacks that are visually spectacular. The game launched with both competitive online and single-player story modes that faithfully adapt the final arc. For MHA fans, this is the send-off the franchise deserves. Number 24, Tekken 8 may not be a traditional anime game, but its over-the-top character designs, dramatic storytelling, and flashy special move system firmly place it in the same DNA. The heat system introduced in this entry adds a thrilling new layer of aggression-based strategy to the legendary fighting formula. Story mode delivers the most cinematic and emotionally driven narrative in series history, covering the final chapter of the Mishima saga. On PS5, the visuals are jaw-dropping and online performance is rock solid. It is one of the best fighting games released in years, regardless of genre. Rounding out the list at number 25, Blue Protocol is an anime-style online action RPG that delivers a visually stunning adventure on PS5. The game's cel-shaded world pops with color and detail that genuinely looks like playing through an anime series frame by frame. Character customization is deep, and the class-based combat system rewards learning each role's mechanics. Cooperative multiplayer content keeps the experience fresh with regular updates and new encounters. For players who enjoy online RPGs with a rich anime visual identity and a welcoming community, Blue Protocol is a fantastic choice to close out this list.